when people negotiate about climate change, development is sort of the big elephant in the room. It's there in the background. But you can't really talk about development goals because that's part of a different negotiation circus. Millennium Development Goals that were set in 2001, there are 8 global objectives that basically all help to eradicate poverty. Climate change is not mentioned in any of that, and that's of course the big elephant in the room in that circus, because climate change undermines the ability of countries to meet their development goals. At the same time, development is needed for countries to be able to respond to climate change.
What to do then?
Yeah, that's of course a very good question. There are a number of ideas that I guess very much depend on what people's background are. Engineers would say we need to invest in technology, we need to invest in solutions that will generate green economic growth, that will develop so the kind of technical solutions. Economists would focus very much on the trade barriers that exist, the fact that in Europe we spend as much money on agricultural subsidies as is needed in developing countries to adapt to climate change. If we were to remove those kind of trade barriers, that would make progress. Then there are the ecologists who would say you need to have like a system approach, you need to respect the resilience of nature and not go beyond certain thresholds. I think all of that is needed, and most of all we need to learn basically from practical experience and see what are the factors, what are the processes that lead to the problems that we are seeing today.
But if all that is needed, can you see the right actions?
There is certainly reason for hope. There is a much greater awareness of the need to link climate, development, biodiversity and other issues. People are beginning to talk across the various fences that exist between those. At the same time, I guess glass is always half full and half empty. There's also reason for despair, the fact that countries are becoming increasingly isolated again. There's a backlash to globalization, there's a backlash to international solidarity. Some of that we've seen at the climate negotiations in Copenhagen, where it was the distrust between countries was enormous, and I think that certainly is a bottleneck.
But you also said, for example, that China can.
China can, the US can. The question is, will they? I think that really is one of the big challenges. Technologically, economically, a lot is possible. The big bottleneck in many places is political will.